So there are, a lot of different ways to be motivated to be healthy, a lot of different perspectives you can take on that can motivate you to live an active lifestyle, to really stay after fitness goals. There's seriously a lot of approaches, but there's one that I want to bring up today that might actually be slightly uncomfortable. It probably will not work for everybody, but it's something that makes sense to me that I want to share with you in case it provides some sort of motivation to be more consistent or to enjoy fitness more. There is a graph from Tim Urban at weightbutwhy.com that basically shows a visual representation of all the days someone will live in a 90-year life. Now, he also has a couple other graphs that show all the weeks, all the months, all the years somebody will live in a 90-year life. And I like this visual representation of how long a 90-year life is. And I think the idea is to motivate yourself to do more in your life. And the focus of that graph is a little bit different than what I'm going to talk about, but I kind of use that as the first kind of visual to this perspective that I'm going to share with you about how to be consistently motivated to go after your fitness goals. So using Tim Urban's visualization of the length of a life as kind of our foundation, obviously that's not fixed, right? We all have different amounts of days, months, years in our lives because lifespan is just not a completely fixed thing. But I like to view this as not only a flexible thing, but something that we can influence. And this is where things can get a little bit uncomfortable. So when we look at this amount of time, and if we look at the massive body of research that shows what exercise, consistent activity can do for you, I think it's not much of a stretch at all to suggest that by not exercising, by not taking time to be active or to participate in some level of fitness, this effectively shortens. And this is not just shortening a little visualization, but the way I extend this out to actually mean something more than just a picture is that each of these days that we could live, each of these days that we could add on to our lives by being active and by engaging in some level of fitness, I mean, it's really not much of a stretch to suggest that if we consistently participate in some kind of exercise over an extended period of time of years and years and years, decades and decades, we can potentially effectively lengthen the amount of our lives. And yes, you could argue that there are freak accidents, but freak accidents aside, because any kind of extraneous event like that doesn't really fall within the purview of this discussion. But the point is, if we look at this, if we look at that idea, not only can we add days, but we can add the quality, we can improve the quality of our days in addition to that. So why does that matter? Your health, and this is the main point right here. Main point. Your health is not just about you. There are people in this world that enjoy you as a person, who like you as a person. And my belief within this perspective of motivating to be active and motivating to participate in exercise is that the kindest thing you can do to them is to take care of your own body in the best way that you can. This does not mean crushing yourself every single day in a very difficult workout. It does not mean, really making your life hard for yourself. It means consistently engaging in some level of activity that does correlate with improvements of biomarkers and just your body that can be verified by an actual physician and doctor, right? Seeing improvements this way so that not only do you have more days with the people that care about you and the people that you care about, but what you do within those days is more enjoyable. And this is a huge discussion. We could go for hours and hours and hours about longevity and quality of life and all of this, but the idea here is that working out, this is one perspective to stay motivated to be into fitness. This is one way to approach things. By engaging in consistent exercises that raise your heart rate into a significant amount, enough to get the benefits of moving around, by doing that for consistently over days, weeks, months, years, decades, you are now basically gifting more time and more quality time with people who care about you and people that you care about. I find this to be very positive. I think that it is a little bit morbid in nature, which is why this may not work for everyone, but I think it's a very important point that this whole idea of working out And doing fitness is not just about ego. This is not, oh, you're obligated to do this, otherwise there's some ramifications about who you are as a person. That's not the case at all. It is as simple as, if you engage in activity more, if you raise your heart rate, if you do these things the correct way, you'll have more time with the people who care, and you'll have more time to do important things and to make memories and to leave a positive and lasting legacy for those who will be here when you are not. And again, to kind of wrap this around to a visual, if we take Tim Urban's chart, it's literally just adding more circles on there. And those circles can represent weeks, they can represent days, whatever it is. You know, I think about, if I could spend one more day, even 12 hours of quality time with someone that you really, really care about. And we all have that person. I think you can sit down right now, if you're sitting down, if you're standing up, whatever it is, and really visualize at least one person and think about them. Think about a fun time you've had with them, or a meaningful day or something. And imagine one more of those. What would you do to have that? And to me, within this one approach to fitness, I think that is well worth the time investment to go have fun and engage in physical activity, because working out doesn't have to suck. There are definitely difficulties to it, but if you pick the right exercise, if you have a very, very enjoyable time, which is exactly why I love jump rope. I think jump rope fits that perfectly. You raise your heart rate, you have fun, the whole process is great. And now not only have you added on to your life, you've added a new hobby or a new activity that you genuinely enjoy, but you're also stacking up potentially more days or honestly just preventing the reduction of days on your life, which means you win on all accounts. You have fun with fitness, you have more time with the people you care about, and you're doing more of the right things in that time versus being unable to engage with those people for whatever reason. So this perspective obviously is slightly morbid in nature. It's definitely a little bit different than the typical approach, I think, of viewing fitness. Again, not obligation, not this is something sucky that I have to do, but that I am gifting. Doing the activity of fitness gifts more time to myself and more time to the people that I care about. And it is, in some respects, honestly, it's the gift that you can give year round that is never unwrapped. It is never a surprise, but by doing this consistently, it results in something far better than money could ever provide. So that's kind of the idea. It's not supposed to be like a guilty thing, like, oh, you better go do this or else you're gonna die sooner. That's absolutely not the case at all. It's more of taking the positive approach of, if I do this every day, if I engage in an activity that I enjoy every day, for me and for a lot of you, it's jump rope, because jump rope is amazing. There are benefits to that are extremely significant and long lasting. I would really be interested in what your thoughts are on this, because to my knowledge, this is not a very common discussion in the fitness world. It's usually, you better do this because of, cardiovascular disease, or if you don't do this, you're gonna have a bad time. Like, that's very superficial, but I find that this is a lot more meaningful, and it gives a visualization, and it gives true meaning to why participating in exercise is so useful. So let me know what your thoughts are, because I would really like to know. And other than that, I'll see you on the next vlog. All right, later.